Hi, I'm Teddy Burris. I'm your LinkedIn coach and trainer, and today I want to give you a quick little set of tips on how to manage the content in our newsfeed and how to manage our connections in LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. And so I'm going to start with LinkedIn, and I'm going to show you again how to manage our content and how to manage our connections and who we're following in LinkedIn. So I'm going to go to my home page and see who pops up. That's going to be my example of the day. So I'm going to use Chris Palmer as my example, but I want to be clear about this. Chris is good people, and I'm only using this content in his profile because it is what showed up in this conversation. So first of all, if I don't like seeing the content that Chris shares, or maybe specifically this piece of content, over here I can hover over this little triangle. Right here's a little triangle, hover, and I can hide this update. That will alert LinkedIn that I don't like that particular type of content. It will also alert LinkedIn that the content that Chris shared in this example, I didn't like what Chris shared. From this same drop down, I can also unfollow Chris. So if I don't want to see anything that Chris shares on LinkedIn, I can unfollow him there and I won't see anything he shares. However, he and I will still maintain first level connections. So he can message me, I can message him, I can see his full profile, including his contact information, and he can see mine. If I don't want to be connected to Chris anymore, I have to go to his profile. And from his profile, I have this little icon right here. And if I hover, let me just show you again, hover over this little triangle right here, then I can block or report Chris to LinkedIn and let them know that I want to block him. I don't want him to see my content, and I don't want to see his content anymore. I don't want him to have the ability to engage with me, to send me an invite to connect in any way. That's what block does. Report allows me to report to LinkedIn that Chris has become a spammer, sharing inappropriate content, he's a fake profile, or he's pretending to be something he's not. But down below it, I have the ability to remove him, and all that does is make us, in this case, with Chris and I, we would probably become second level connections. And again, at this point, he can't send me a message, and he can't see my contact information on my profile. These are the basic steps for managing content on our newsfeed and managing connections to people on LinkedIn using these steps. Go a step further. If I go to a particular company, and I'm using the old interface for right now, I'll do this on the new interface later on. So if I go to this company, here's a company right here that I'm following, Wake Forest University. So if I go to that company page just by clicking on Wake Forest University, you will see that 51,412 people plus myself are following this company. If I no longer want to follow this company, all I have to do is click on that, and I'm now unfollowing it. And then now I will no longer see LinkedIn updates from Wake Forest University in my newsfeed. How to follow companies, how to follow people, how to unfollow companies, how to unfollow people. Just quick little tips. So let me show you this process on Facebook now. So again, I'm going to use the first friend who shows up on Facebook. It's Tommy Bryan. Tommy's a good friend of mine. Again, I'm using her as an example. I have no need to block, hide, remove, or report Tommy, but I'm going to show you as an example. So here's a post that Tommy made. If I, right here, this little triangle, click on that, I can hide this post, which alerts Facebook that I don't like that type of content. I can report this post, which I can say to Facebook that this post is inappropriate, it's fake, it's spam, or it's pretending to be something it's not, thus fake again. I can also unfollow Tommy now, and that right there shows up. So in the event Tommy shares over and over and over again the same kind of content that I really don't want to see, that's insulting or abusive to me, or I just don't want to see it, I can unfollow her altogether. We maintain our Facebook friendship. I just don't see what she shares anymore. So again, I repeat, I'm just using Tommy as an example. I wouldn't do that to Tommy. I like her stuff. But Facebook gives me the ability to hide, to report, or to unfollow Tommy altogether. I can also go to Tommy's profile, and So from Tommy's profile, up here is the follow box. I can change the format of how Facebook shows her content to me earlier in the rankings, default in the rankings, or I can also unfollow her again. Furthermore, I can go over here where we are friends, and I can unfriend Tommy altogether. And now not only will I not see her content, but she will no longer see my non-public content or my non-friends of friends content. And furthermore, she won't show up in my messages as a friend message. She'll show up as a filtered message. Areas in Facebook where I can control what content shows up in my news feed, report that content as inappropriate, hide that content. I can unfollow friends' content, and I can remove friends and unfriend them on Facebook. So my third presentation is how to do this on Twitter. So you'll see on Twitter, I'm following 3,100 people. And so if I'm going to use Fox 8 WGHP, which is a local news station in my area. And so you'll see that from Fox 8 GHP, here's a tweet they made about a police officer being shot. I've got to follow up on that. But over here is that triangle again. So I can click on that triangle and you can see that I can mute Fox 8, my Fox 8, which means they will not show up on my news feed. I can block my Fox 8, which means they will not show up in my newsfeed. They can't follow me anymore, and they can't message me or engage with me in any way. And I can report this tweet to Twitter and let them know that it is spam, it's inappropriate, or it's fake, a fake account or fake information. If I click on that, you will see that it brings up and tells me I'm not interested. It's spam. It displays a sensitive image, which might be it also could be abusive or harmful to someone professionally or personally. I'm not going to use either one of those. I'm going to hit the X. So that's how I can, again, mute my Fox or block my Fox or report the tweet as inappropriate. Furthermore, I can also, back over here, hover over their name. I can bring up their profile, or right from the screen, from the dialog box, I can unfollow my Fox 8. If I go to their profile, then you will see that my Fox 8 WGHP, they must be following me because I can send them a message, but I can also go right over here, and here is the more user interactions where I can mute them, block them, report them. I can also go over here and unfollow them so that I no longer see their content and they no longer can message me. These are the basics of how to manage content in our newsfeed on Twitter and how to manage the people that we follow on Twitter so that we can keep our news feeds clear and clean and people who we're following relevant and of interest. So again, I'm Teddy Burris. I'm all about helping you get the most out of your social media. Quick little tips on how to manage our news feed, manage who we're following, and manage who we're connected with on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I hope this has been helpful.